Yeah, so that live was, yeah, what the hell was that about? It wasn't letting me resume the live or something. The hell? Right, so let's just sort this description out. God, it's gonna be so stressful, this thing, can't it? Let me know if you can hear me. I'll have to just check and see if you guys can actually hear me. It's just been acting really weird lately. Every time I restart the live, sound's not been working. Let's have a look. Right, skip that. Right. Um, right, so that's working now. Okay. For some reason, it's not messed up this time. Right, finally. Looks like we're, yeah, back in business, guys. So I don't know what the hell that was about, but the live stream that I just tried, it just went weird on me. I couldn't get back into it for some reason. It wasn't letting me back into the live stream, so I had to just cut it off. When I tried going back into it, it was like it just kept taking me out of it. It's weird. This YouTube's been acting weird tonight. I don't know. Don't know if it's the weather or what, but something's weird with it at the moment. Yeah, because every time I've been restarting, but it's not doing it now, but it was like restarting, it was just muting me for some reason, even though my mic wasn't on mute. So I don't know what's going on. Why does it keep doing this shit? Right. I don't know, it's just weird as hell, but yeah. Hang on a sec. Just need to do the poll. So, are you subscribed? Yes. No. I will now. All right, there we go. I don't know what's been going on, but yeah. I tried coming back into that live just then, and then it's wasn't letting me back in for some reason. I was like, "What's that all about?" You know, never known anything like it. And they keep on like muting my mic or something when I try and restart the live or something. It's weird. What's going on? What's going on with this YouTube lately? I don't know, but seems like some glitch on their end or something. I don't know. But it is what it is, really. Anyway, don't look like we've hardly got anyone watching now, so. Oh, hello, QXYH3H3. How you doing tonight? Welcome in here. So I've got a few topics on here about things like microplastics, hemp plastics, and electric cars. Talk about, the environment and stuff like that. And yeah, how you doing? You all right? So yeah. Oh God. Why is everyone so obsessed with like saying I'm gay or something? Like, what's all that about? Like, can we just like be mature or something? I mean, it's just so silly. Anyway, I was just trying to have a serious conversation about, because like there's these things like microplastics and they're like really bad for the environment, and yeah, like they're like really bad for the environment, and like it's quite concerning how they're everywhere, like forever chemicals, and nothing seems to be being done about that. So I think I'd argue that that's quite a big risk to like people's health. So we're talking about climate emergency and stuff, but I think that is, I would argue that a lot of these environmentalists actually should probably focus more on that, really, because that is really bad. It can really affect your health. Like right now, like it's literally, these things can accumulate, and it turns out that these things can get embedded into your organs. Once it's there, you can't really do anything about it. there doesn't seem to be like any way to get rid of it from organs, at least not efficiently anyway. So yeah, so that's the thing with these like forever chemicals that they're just there's just these plastics everywhere, and they reckon that can be bad for your health and stuff. But I was looking into some. I think it was on. It might have been anthocyanin or something like that. I remember where it talked about how it might be able to counter some of the negative effects of microplastics. I think it was anthocyanin or something like that. It might have been something else, but so anthocyanin and microplastics is something. So it says about how it shows promise protecting against the harmful effects of microplastics, particularly on reproductive health and gut microbiota, by acting as antioxidants, reducing inflammation and potentially blocking plastic chemicals from interacting with hormone receptors. So that's how it might be able to help. So things like blueberries, elderberries, things like that might be of benefit if you want to try and reduce the negative effects of microplastics. But I guess no one's really interested in talking about this stuff tonight. I don't know, because people just seem to want to talk shit, But yeah, anyway, it's kind of hard to hear now, so probably won't be on much longer. I just thought I'd, come back and talk a bit about these things. But, if people don't want to, that's fine. But thank you for the like, whoever that was. It's showing us 2 on my end now, but quite a finicky topic. Yeah, it's but it's like Bill said, just try and reduce your exposure to it. But it's like, it's hard though. Even your clothing and everything, it can be hard to reduce your exposure, because it's like, it would be just such like miserable trying to like, you'd have to make sure that every time you go shopping, you would have to be mindful of what it's fucking wrapped in, and they're talking about endocrine disruptors and stuff, but it's like, it's everywhere. It's hard for people to just reduce your exposure unless you want to like live off grid or something. But like in society, it's very hard to reduce your exposure to it, because all these shops, it's like they wrap everything in plastic, and it's just, I don't know. Yeah, what's that, infertility? Yeah, I've heard about all that stuff. Yeah, but I saw this thing about anthocyanin and how it might counter some of those negative effects. But yeah, something to look into anyway. So I'm wondering if that could help prevent the infertility from it. Yes, I have, Harry. Yes, I have. How are you doing tonight? So, does microplastic cause cancer? If I remember, it could do. I'll have to have a look, but it couldn't what? Sorry? I don't know. Let's have a look. Anthocyanin, microplastics, infertility. So let's just see what it says on this. But so it says microplastic poses a threat to fertility by causing oxidative stress, inflammation, and hormone disruption in both males and females, damaging sperm and oocytes. However, anthocyanins, natural antioxidants in colorful plants like blueberries, berries, purple and red veggies, and nuts, show promise in counteracting these harms by reducing inflammation, mitigating oxidative damage, and protecting reproductive organs and steroid hormone receptors. Recent studies suggest anthocyanins, especially cyanidin 3-glucoside, can help restore hormonal balance and cellular health, making them a potential natural intervention against plastic-induced reproductive toxicity. So it was saying how it might help to mitigate some of that. So giving up plastic would be much easier if manufacturers just stopped manufacturing them, exactly. But nothing's going to get done about that, unfortunately, is it? You know? It's like you're expected as a consumer to just be, oh, well, just don't consume it. Well, it's not that easy to do, is it? When all the fucking products use it, you know? I've heard this thing actually. I don't know how true it is, but I remember someone was talking about how recycled plastic might actually be worse because it leaches more of the microplastics or something. Midnight says exactly, yeah. It's just we're in a bit of a shitty situation here, really, but we've just got to look at natural things to try to mitigate it if possible, because there's not a whole lot we can do to stop ourselves from getting exposed to it. So I don't know how much of an effect it's having on men's testosterone. I know a lot of people have talked about testosterone levels declining and stuff like that, but I think there's a lot of other reasons for that though, like lifestyles and stuff like that. A-Man says, do you watch Korn? I don't know. So just giving up plastics, it's like, you're expected to, like, have to kind of make sure everything's not got plastic. It would just be an absolute nightmare to live like that. Our problem now is that we can't give up plastic. It's just that those greedy bastards couldn't afford to be a little less rich by giving up plastic. Yeah, I know. Oh, you saw me in Epstein files. Oh, really? Thank you for the likes, everybody. Yeah, it's just they don't care about any of us, do they? Like, instead of, like, using, plant cellulose to wrap things in, they use fucking toxic shit like that. It's just absolutely disgusting. Like, but it's like when you've got like these oil companies and whatever, and they're really pollutive with all the diesel and petrol and all that. Try and blame the consumer, say about because it was BP apparently that actually coined the term carbon footprint, but it's them that are responsible for it because they are the ones producing all these things. Instead of them investing in cleaner alternatives that don't have all these, environmental toxins and stuff. So plant cellulose is more expensive to produce. That means less profit, of course. It isn't gonna take off. Yeah, but it's like, I've seen people making it for like banana peels and stuff. It's like, yeah, I would have thought if anything, it probably doesn't look like it's that expensive to make. I don't know. Like, it can be made from a lot of like fruit and vegetable waste. Hello, Cece, long time no see. Yeah, how are you doing tonight? I would have thought they'd be able to make cellulose quite easily from cellulose. I mean, couldn't they do it from grass or something? I don't know. I wondered if they could make it from grass. I don't know. Like, I mean, you would have thought they would have come up with ways to make it cheap now, but they just don't care or something. Yes, like it'd be good if, say, like, you could like donate your vegetable waste. Like, this is like an idea that I had. Let's say you would like get paid like something to like basically sell your garden waste to have it made into like renewable plastics or whatever. That was an idea I've just had. Where am I from? I'm from the UK. Hello, Mr. John Lee. How you doing? Oh, it's morning there. Oh yeah, you're in Australia, aren't you? I don't know. Yeah, the process of turning grass into packaging is probably effing expensive compared to producing plastics. Isn't producing plastics quite complicated or something as well? I don't know. But something needs to be done because fuck their fucking profits. They're fucking greedy bastards, a lot of them, you know? You know, we need to try and sort something out because it's not fair if everyone has fucking microplastics everywhere, you know? I'm replacing my plastic storage to glass. I reuse glass jars, yeah, so they're more sustainable, but yeah. But I suppose glass is more expensive to make or something. I don't know. Oh yeah, I've had that before. People saying I look Russian. I've had people saying all kinds of things. So yeah, we all need to start by following CC's path. Yeah, it's just like, but when you're buying stuff from the shops, you can't always avoid having stuff wrapped in plastic, though, can you? You know, unless you're just gonna be very, very restrictive, but not everyone wants to or can do that, you know? I don't know. I've seen those things where you can like go and like say like nuts and things like that where you can just, you know, like choose your own. There used to be a thing where you just bring your own bag or something. Like they have these things where they have these plastic bags that you put them in, but it should be where you bring your own container so that way they don't have to keep fucking around with like wasting more plastic and all that. What's that? Ham packaged so that individual slices are separated by thin sheets of plastics. Oh yeah, I think I've seen that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's just I don't give a fuck about their fucking profits, you know, because they don't give a fuck about any of us, do they? Like they expect you to like have to just kind of be very restrictive with like, because they're the ones that are responsible for it all. In Croatia, we have individual ham slices separated by thin sheets of plastic, but plastic straws are banned. Yeah, that sounds a bit contrary, whatever you call it. They don't, all they care about is buying another yacht. I know. That's it, you know. Why do they need another yacht? This is what I don't understand about. Why does anyone need a mansion, for example? Why does anyone need 20, 30 bedrooms? Hi, Christopher. Why do you want to delete your account or something? What's going on? Why does anyone need 10 bathrooms? What's the fucking point in that? Unless you're having a massive amount of people living there, why would you just want to waste all that, you know? It's an absolute joke, really, isn't it, you know? There's so much wastefulness, you know? Like, there's people, like, that are in need of housing, right? People on housing lists for fucking years. And you've got rooms wasted. You've got, like, empty buildings going to waste. Greed can take away your sanity. Yeah, I know. There's literally, like, probably thousands of empty buildings that are just going to waste, and they could be maybe converted into housing instead of keep building new houses on green belt land or something, you know? Why don't we just use the fucking buildings that we have now? There's a lot of buildings that are just sitting there doing nothing, but because no one's bought the place, like let's say something's to let or for sale, whatever, but because no one's bought it, then it's like, no one's allowed to kind of, live in there or use it for some other purpose. So it's just going to waste. And sometimes it could be there for years upon years with no buyer. It's a disgrace. I don't care what people say. Oh, well, they have a right to because it's their building. Fuck off. If you're just gonna take the piss and you're just gonna leave it there with no occupation, I think there should be a rule where if you've not occupied something for a certain amount of time, I mean, there's this whole squatters' right thing, but I mean, but I think that whole thing, it should be I mean, I think it takes something like 10 plus years of it being abandoned for it to then not be their place anymore or something like that. But I just feel if you've got somewhere that's going to waste and yeah, at least rent it to someone else if they're not going to live in the house. Exactly. Otherwise, it's just taking the piss. There's people that need accommodation, And you could argue that it would probably make the housing market more kind of, well, it would actually free up more houses, and then but basically, it would actually probably reduce the price of the housing. But the thing is that a lot of these boomers that have housing, I mean, they own a lot of houses. It's not in their best interest, is it, to have more houses available? So they also try and do things like zoning laws to try and stop houses from being built, but they'll have certain houses built in areas where it's really expensive and makes it hard for people to buy them, and unless you're really rich, and it's just basically just like a kind of cash cow to them. Yeah, this whole thing is just rigged, basically, is what I'm saying. The whole system is rigged. In Australia, the laws make it hard to get bad renters out. I wouldn't rent to anyone I don't personally know. Yeah, it could be a bit dodgy, that. Yeah, so I understand why, if you're a bad renter, then yeah, you should just be kicked out, But if someone's just leaving something to waste, then I think then someone should just be able to just take a claim of that, Because I think you're just taking the piss if you're just going to leave your house for years abandoned. You need to act like you own the place. If you abandon a house for years, then you're no longer acting as though you own that place. You just act as though you've just abandoned it. Well, then sell if you ain't gonna live in the house. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there should be something where it's you either sell it or no. It's even if you say have a holiday home, for example, right? Well, you're gonna come back to your house a few months later, aren't you? You're not just gonna leave your house abandoned for fucking years, are you? What's this? A goose in a lab coat diagnosed the floor with chronic floor prognosis. Immediate soup. The floor accepted its fate and began bubbling like a cauldron full of tolls and unresolved emails. Was this supposed to be some joke? If so, I didn't get it. Yeah, it sounded like it was like you were trying to tell some joke or something. I don't know, but I'm not sure if it was intentionally. In Croatia, police can't get a renter out if they don't pay the rent. You have to sue them and go through a process that lasts for a few years to get them out. That is just crazy. It was an analogy, not a joke or something. I don't know, I didn't quite understand it or something yeah, that's not right, is it? You should be able to just get someone out if they're not right. It's just because then that gives them a lot of leverage then, and they can just fuck around and then get to stay there for years, But I mean, I don't know. But then you just end up with a lot of just scummy people loiter in the streets. And you see that even in York, where I live, where you just get these kind of scummy kind of people. Hello, Tara Jackson. How you doing? Good to see you again. Just take the diagnosis made by the Goose as a vent out. It solves nothing, but at least it makes things feel more bearable. What's that? I don't quite understand what you're talking about here, but anyway. But it's just like, yeah. I don't know. That's what it is at the end of the day. Anyway, if anyone's new here, please subscribe to the channel. I'm probably going to get off in a few minutes. So, yeah. So if you have any more questions, now is your time. So, yeah, how are you doing, Tara? Are you still there? Sorry, oh, you're talking to Thunder, right? Is UK really getting bad from recent migrations? I mean, there has been some kind of stuff happened, but I mean, it's like a sort of, you know, there's some people that are coming in who are not as like civilized, you could say. Or you have the flu. I hope you get better soon then. So, you know, for example, that some of them don't think twice about, you know, sort of assaulting our females, for example. Now, I'm not saying that they're all going to do that. Of course not. But statistics don't lie with these things. You know, it's like there is a, but then when people, you know, bring this stuff up, then you're called racist or xenophobic or whatever, you know, whatever kind of crap that they want to throw out there. But I don't think it's racist to want to protect your own people, really. But I know it's quite a touchy subject. So I don't really get too much into this stuff because everyone's got their own opinions and stuff. So it can be a bit of a complicated issue, but yeah. But it does seem as though in some ways they seem to be prioritizing these people over our own people. So you can understand why people were quite annoyed at that, you know? Why is it that these people get to have a free, you know, like a place to stay and all that and free food? The problem is the same everywhere. Those who keep talking about bad migrants refuse to talk about the good ones. The exact opposite for those who keep talking about the good migrants. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like we have to have a more balanced kind of view on the whole migrant thing. Yeah, it's all about like, you know, kind of obviously unvetted migration is not good, but there is good ones. Like we need to have some, like say for example, you have workers from places like Asia who are good at their jobs, and in some cases they do a better job than people here would do. Because I know, like, I think someone was talking about they had a Chinese doctor who did a really good job, and yeah, a lot of them are, you know, more competent at these things than British people. I think it's something to do with like, I don't know if it's to do with the work ethic or something like that, but yeah. But if we didn't have all these, you know, type of doctors, then we'd be struggling, I think. That's why when Southport happened, everyone was called far right thugs for reaction over 3 girls sacrificed. Yeah. Now, there are some really bad people in that. And I think there'd be kind of a disgrace for like kind of, you know, basically kind of making it all look bad, but you're always going to get these bad apples and people just going extreme. Hi, user, how you doing? But you can understand why people are getting really annoyed. But they should be taking their frustration out on, you know, like on the system and how it's. I just don't think that the. But you gotta be careful what you're saying on here, because I remember there was somebody that said something like someone was saying about that they wanted to like get everyone to come together and unite or something like that. Oh, hello, Gromgy Edits. How you doing? So they were saying that they wanted to like get people together and unite or something like that against all this kind of sort of unvetted migration or something like that. And then I think they got arrested for that. Overton window is shifting. Yeah, it does seem like people feel a bit more comfortable talking about some of these issues now. Censorship as its finest. It's crazy, isn't it? It's like there was that woman who got arrested over. Well, basically, she was the one that was actually a victim of like abuse, and she sent a message to what was her friend, calling him the F word, as in like the 6-letter F word. And she got arrested for that. And it was him that was the abuser. All she did was just say a bad word. And I don't think anything happened to him. She got her head caved in and she could have died or something. But yeah, what happened to him, The whole justice system is fucked. And then they were going on about how there's a backlog of, and how they need to sort out the backlog or whatever of crimes or whatever. Because I think a lot of that's because they've just been putting these BS hate speech laws in or whatever crap, which then means that they've artificially created backlog, If it wasn't for all this, because someone said something and that means that they're going to courts and then they're saying, we're going to get rid of jury for like small crimes or something. Well, jury is important in having that kind of a more sort of balanced, less biased kind of perspective of like what they think that the sentence should be, basically. Hi, Jim. So this is the thing. It's like, when you've got some of these judges can be bent, can't they? And they could misjudge either by giving a harsher sentence than what they should be, or the opposite. Moaning about Southport when you killed 1 million in Iraq. Who killed 1 million in Iraq? You're about the government or something. I mean, but yeah, there is all that really. But what's your point? It's like, I think the point is that the government is responsible for genocide, basically. And it'll do it to other people. It'll do it to your own people as well. That's your point, right? But I think that you were saying, I'm moaning about Southport. Well, it's still something that like is kind of the issue of like where we're letting these thugs in, and you're not getting it or something. What do you mean? I mean, it's like you're trying to do it to kind of diminish the kind of concern about, two wrongs don't make a right, basically, is what we're saying. Like, yeah. How about Gaza? Yeah, I don't agree with all that shit either. I don't agree with how, the I think America's, if I remember, they send a lot of money to Gaza, and that's arguably supporting them to like, not to Gaza, sorry, to Israel, to like genocide fucking Gaza or something. I mean, so you got American taxpayers. I was actually looking into even the UK might actually be indirectly supporting this bullshit. So yeah, but it's like some people just want to kind of get you to pick sides and stuff. Are you on Israel's side? Are you on Palestine's side? To be honest, I think both sides are just played against each other, is how I see it. They're trying to just, yeah, there is forces above it all, is how I see it. I'm not on Israel's side. Like, I literally was talking about Israel the other day and how I think that Israel is just has way too much power, and it's the whole kind of Zionism and all that. Yeah, I privated that live stream because of stuff I said, because I was a bit worried that, a genuine guy. I served this country for 24 years, conflicts all over the world sent by various governments. Now I can't wear the flag I fought for. Yeah, it's bullshit. And it's just people see you as some kind of, you know, bigoted nationalist, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, now you're putting words on his mouth. Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna I literally just said that they're indirectly supporting Israel, but I think this Jim Smith person just needs to go. I think he's just trying to deliberately fuck this up. So yeah, put him on a timeout. Put him on naughty step. That's what I'll do. Yeah. Anyway, I don't. I think that both sides are like the whole Gaza thing. The whole Hamas. Some say Hamas is like fucking Netanyahu. It's like fucking controlled opposition. Has anyone ever thought about that it might all be controlled opposition? Because that's kind of how my brain works, where I'm like, I don't just kind of think that it's like as simple as like, oh, it's just one side versus the other. There's probably, layers to this shit. Hi, Knight Rider. Is not real. But it's just, I remember I was in some kind of debate with someone, and they were saying how Israel was in the Bible. No, in the Quran it was. But he claimed, well, basically, like I was saying, but it wasn't mentioned as a state. And then he said, oh, well, or you don't know what you're talking about or something. Who's living in a gated community? What are you talking about? Yeah, a lot of these will just be like really out of touch with reality, or they're just willfully ignorant. Some of them might know deep down that there's problems in the world, but they don't care because they're just sipping on their champagne and, gloating and all that, It's just disgusting when, obviously, it doesn't mean that all boomers are bad or anything. But the thing is, right, if you was to like criticize Israel or anything like that, then people can call you anti-Semitic. But what is a Semite? Because a lot of these people probably couldn't even answer you that. They don't care, but they want to look like they care. Yeah, it's like when people give empty gestures, where it's like, so they don't care, just want. So they don't care, just want. Yeah, so they're just kind of, a lot of people just want a virtue signal or just give empty gestures. Just, I'd rather that people just didn't bother at all, because I don't like how if people just try and pretend like they care when they just, I don't know, it just can be frustrating, really. But yeah. Anyway, is anyone still there? I just, had to turn the mobile data on. I thought it already was on, but yeah, apparently not. As in, like, I have it switched on so it would kick in whenever my Wi-Fi goes down. Sometimes my Wi-Fi messes up. Let's see if there's any snow outside. I don't know if it's snowing. No, probably not. No, I don't think we have any snow. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't get any at all, but we had some the other day, but it washed away. But yeah, is everybody all right then? I'm going to be getting off in a couple of minutes because I've been on all night. So, but yeah, just I don't know, it's just a lot of like gaslighting going on and stuff, and people saying stuff like, "Such a person's anti." Right, is that right now? Hopefully, it's working now. How you doing, Sandra? You there? Right, should be back on now. There we go. Yeah, my battery's about to run out because I've been on all night. So yeah, but yeah, you there, Sandra? How you doing, everybody? Hope you're all well. So that was a bit shit, really, but that just happens sometimes. But yeah, hello, anyone still there? I think people tend to go soon if like, yeah. I mean, anyway, apparently it's 3 now. Well, I'm on the watch page, so it's probably like 2. Yeah, hello if you're watching. Hopefully you guys can hear me. So anyway, any more questions before I go? Now's your time. Just let me know. Probably it's 4, it's saying, probably 3. So I'm on the watch page. So say hello if you're watching. Let me know if you're still there. Thank you for the 5 likes, everybody. But yeah, it's been a marathon live tonight, guys. Been on for quite a while. But yeah. Some new people showing up, and yeah, it's been all right for the most part. There's been a few like disagreements and stuff, but it's been pretty civil for the most part, so that's good. Any trolls, we just get rid of them, you know. There's no need for any of that. So right, no one's saying anything, so yeah, it'd be nice if someone just said hello or something, or what. Oh, hello, Gaza. What are you talking about? Well, I was just, well, someone sort of brought up the whole Israel Gaza thing, so, but I was talking earlier about like microplastics and stuff like that. And hello, Elliot. How you doing? So, like, you know, like microplastics and how they're bad for the environment and bad for your body, and you know what I mean? They're all really toxic, like forever chemicals and all that. Because these microplastics, they can leach a lot of crap, like is it BPA or something like that? But I was looking into this stuff a while ago. But so I was talking about anthocyanin and its potential to be able to mitigate some of the harm that microplastics can do. So something to look into. I'm not making any claims here, but yeah. What you mean? Oh, FFS? What do you mean? No, I'm not a Greta Thunberg. I'm just saying that microplastics are something that can disrupt the endocrine system, and I think that's something that we should be, looking into really, because it's, I think that we should be a bit more concerned about it, but I don't know. Microplastics and macroplastics are different though, and people conflate, and that annoys me. Microplastics are the more dangerous ones, I think, because those are the bits that can get into your organs and stuff. Once it gets into your organs, it can stay there forever. You can sort of like some of the microplastics can come out through feces and stuff. I've heard like dietary fiber can help bind to some of the microplastics to get them out of the body, but the Israel crap, okay, fair enough. But yeah, just what's this? People think cutting boards are dangerous though. Well, you could say because, well, they could leach microplastics into the food or something, hypothetically. Are you saying that doesn't work? I mean, but the thing is, it's like, your life would be so kind of stressful if you was worrying about every single bit of plastic. That's what I mean. It's like hard to, limit your exposure to this stuff because it's everywhere. Plastic, money, plastic, fucking chopping boards. I mean, food oftentimes is wrapped in plastic, so you'd have to avoid every bit of that. I mean, it would just go on and on and on, but yeah, wooden boards, I suppose they could be better, but yeah, just um hope you're all well tonight, people. Wow, so plastic bread packet, plastic chocolate bar wrapper, I'm gonna die. I'm not saying you're gonna die, but it's like I've heard that people are saying that it might be disrupting people's like hormones and stuff like that. But I don't know how much of a harm it can cause necessarily. I don't know if it's overhyped because a lot of things out there do get overhyped. It's like that whole seed oil thing, and yeah, I don't think seed oils are necessarily great for you generally, but I think sometimes people will overblow the risks and stuff and make people afraid to have any little bit of seed oil. I think that's the point where it becomes kind of crazy, but I don't know. What's that? The sooner people worry about our own country instead of other countries, life would be more easy for them. What do you mean? I guess it's more like fertility issues and cancer